Hey gorgeous, welcome to my channel, Soil and Margaritas. I am so glad to finally be able to make a seed starting video for 2023. Do microgreens count as a seed starting? Well, we're just gonna call this the first seed starting video. I am going to very quickly go through the things that I am using for this year because I feel like maybe I am already repeating myself with a lot of the things that I'm showing you. I showed you a lot of this stuff last year and I haven't really changed much other than I added a bunch of trays. I don't know, I painted the wall back there. That's about it really. So I am just going to show you really quick what I'm using, how I'm doing things. So if you have any questions about specific things, just let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer your questions, you guys. First of all, how am I scheduling my seeds? How do I know which seeds to start when and whatnot? So this is what I have been using. I started using this for the past 4 years. This is my year 4th. And this is like super simple. It works for me. It works with the way that my mind works, and I love this system. It's basically a form that I make myself. It just goes from 12 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks, all the way to like 4 weeks. And this is based on my last frost date. It's just a simple form that I go through and I fill up the dates when those are. And I go through my seeds. I really quickly go through all of the seeds that I have. I see what I want to repeat for that year. And then I go, for example, 4 weeks. 4 weeks before my last frost date, I need to start these seeds and so on. I know there are a lot of people out there that have their own system. This just works for me. If you wanna get this PDF, I wasn't going to do it, but if you just wanna get it, I'm gonna put a link below on the video's description so that you can just put in your email and automatically this form will be sent to you. You will have to fill it out though with your own dates because your last frost day is more than likely not gonna be the same for me. So check your last frost date and you'll have to fill it out what days those are for you, and according to the seeds that you have, you'll have to put them in the right order, and that way you know when to start your seeds. Like again, if you want to know more about this, let me know, send me an email, send me a message on Instagram. I'll be glad to give you more info. I think this is pretty simple. I don't know, it's pretty simple to me. According to my schedule, which is not completely full by the way, because I still have 2 orders of things that I realized while I was looking through my seeds that I forgot to order and I was out. So according to my schedule, I need to start a few things today. This is new for me this year. We'll see how we do with this. I think that I might be a little bit late in the year, but I'm still going to do it because, I mean, why not, right? These are gorgeous, you guys. These are violas. I don't know. There we go. I got these guys from Baker Creeks and they are absolutely adorable. If they are somewhat close to what the picture is showing there, I am going to be a happy girl. So I am going to start a bunch of those. The package each comes with 100 seeds. I do not need to start 100 of them, but I'm going to start those. And I have Dusty Miller that I got from Johnny's. And we'll see how the seeds do. They come in this little wax bag. But I am going to try a bunch of these, and I do want to start them early because last year when I started them, they were kind of slow. So by the time that I took them outside when they were ready to transplant, Dusty Miller was like really small. So I want to try to get them a little bit bigger. And I am also starting some eucalyptus. Again, I feel like I should have started this at least a month ago. Eucalyptus and I have a complicated relationship, but I'm going to try them again this year. We'll see how they do. The gorgeous plants that I purchased last year as seedlings from KC did not make the transition indoors. So I'm just gonna try it again. And if KC is selling more stuff, more eucalyptus this year, I'm definitely gonna get a couple more plants. And this right here, these are geraniums. These seeds are questionable, you guys, because I feel like I got scammed. You know how there are those people that don't necessarily sell things, but they claim that they sell things, and when you order from them, they purchase from another company, and then they send those to you. That was the case for these seeds. Don't ask me. I realized when I got these seeds in the mail, and I paid pretty money for these seeds, for these geranium seeds, because they are a gorgeous color. Hopefully, fingers crossed that they are that color. Then when I got them in the mail, they were from a completely different company for about half of the price that I paid for them originally. So I don't know. We'll see how these geranium seeds do. I mean, these are the kind of things that I get myself into, all of it because I want more seeds. So these are the 4 things that I am going to start today. I am going to put some timestamps here. So if you only want to see how I do, I don't know, the geraniums, you can see when I'm going to do those right here on the side. So let's start because I have a lot to do. Okay, so first of all, I am going to label my seeds because I am going to completely forget about them if I don't. And the way that I have been labeling things in the past is with just regular tape. I got these colorful tapes from Amazon. And I am using just regular potting mix from my local store, you guys. Use whatever you like. My only recommendation for you when choosing a potting mix to start your seeds, especially to start your seeds, is to look for one that is as soft and fluffy as you can find it. I like to use Burpee's potting mix because it's already kind of fluffy. For the past 3 years, I have been using Burpee's seed starting mix, and it's about the same consistency. Here and there I will find chunks, a little bit chunks of mulch, but of either mulch or wood, wherever those little chunks are. And that's fine, I can just remove those as I go. But I am honestly not going to use seed starting mix anymore because of my room is really warm and it's just nice and cozy, and I have plenty of light here with my LED lights. I feel like having to use the special soil just doesn't really make a huge difference for how I do things here, for the way that my seeds grow here in this environment. If I was growing them in a cooler room, like in a basement or a unheated garage, maybe I will give them the chance. See, like this big chunk. Just gonna throw that on the side. If my environment was different, I will give them, or I will go the extra step to, to get seed starting mix, but I just don't think that for the way that I do things here, that makes like a huge difference. Okay, and I added a little bit of water so that it's not like super dusty and it doesn't settle as much after I put them in containers. I am using regular 6-cell size containers. And I am not like pushing down too hard on the soil, but I do want to make sure that I cover every single area. So here they are. I am going to try to go for 12 plants, and I have more seeds than that, and you can see the seeds here. You can see how small they are. And I have, according to this packet, I have 10 seeds for each packet. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to place one on each. And because I am not really sure how good or how the quality of these seeds are, I am just going to double for each container. So just in case some of them don't germinate, but I figure I don't know where these seeds are coming from. I don't know if they're even geranium seeds. So we'll see how these guys do. Hopefully we'll get some geranium plants from it. If not, that's cool. That's what happens. So what I'm going to do is that very carefully, I am just going to push the seeds a little bit down. Getting really bright in here with the sunshine. And then I am just gently putting soil over them, making sure that the seeds have contact on them. Again, if you want to use regular seed starting mix for trying to germinate your seeds, you can totally do that. I just, from my experience here, I just don't think that I need to. Okay, so that's perfect. So these guys are going to go into a tray. And I'll make sure to water them. I have this hand sprayer that I recently got and I love. So I am just going to keep them a little bit moisture, and this is what I'm going to be doing here and there, at least every day, if not twice a day. And hopefully here in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to give you an update on how these guys are doing. But that's it for geraniums, day 1. These are the Dusty Millers that I am starting today from Johnny's. Hopefully they're going to do okay. And I am really just trying to go for 6 of them. These are the Bootstrap Farmer containers that I love. And I'm just going to try to go for 6. I am going to probably put at least 3 seeds on each pot here. And this is potting mix again. And don't forget to label your seeds, you guys. Especially if you are going to be starting a bunch of seeds in the next couple of months. So like I said, I'm going to try to go for 3 seeds at least in each little spot. Just want to make sure that I get at least 6 of these guys. Dusty Miller the seeds need light to germinate, but I do want to just make sure that they have a little bit of touch with the soil. And that's that. That's Dusty Miller New Look that I started today on January 27th. And I am going to give it a nice spray of regular water. This is just regular water. They should be good to go. I am very excited to start these violas, you guys. These are absolutely gorgeous. The color is just fantastic. So what I'm going to do with violas is that I'm going to start them in 5x5 trays. These are lovely, hard, heavy-duty trays. And I am using regular potting mix, and if they have big chunks of something, I'm just going to get those out. Pretty nice. I don't really need to fill them up all the way. I am just trying to get the seeds to germinate and get a little bit big, about 1 inch or so big, before I move them into their own little containers. And again, I'm kind of pushing down a little bit, but not too hard. It's perfect. That's about how much soil mix, potting mix I want. And the potting mix that I'm using is already somewhat wet. I personally don't like to start with dry medium because it kind of flies everywhere as I am dealing with it, and I feel that if I use the medium dry and then later I soak it in water whenever I water it, it just kind of settles down. I don't know. This is just how I like to do things. If you like to start with dry medium, then that's fine too. You're going to find your own way. And the reason why I want to start with 3 containers for violas is because I want to make sure that I give them a little bit of space as they are germinating, so that whenever I need to transplant, they are easy to separate. If I cover one container with a bunch of seeds, they're going to be hard to separate from one another. This is just for me, this is just for make things easier later on. These are the seeds, these are the viola seeds. See how small they are? So I'm going to do my best to sort of spread them. How many am I trying to go for? I will say if I get at least a couple of dozen of these will be good. If all of them germinate, if all of the seeds do really well, then I'll probably just suck it up and deal with all of them. Okay, that's probably plenty, and I have way more seeds than I needed. Again, these are the violas from Baker Creeks, and they are just gorgeous. I am very, very excited for those guys. And what I'm going to do, because the seeds are very, very tiny, they're very, very tiny, I'm just going to gently, very gently cover the seeds. I am not trying to completely bury them down in the soil. I just want to make sure that the soil has contact with the seeds. And if you have some of that fine vermiculite, you can also use that as well to cover the seeds. I find that I don't really need to do that. But if you want to try that, or if you have some on hand, then, I mean, why not? So I am going to start with eucalyptus. I got these seeds from Johnny's. This is eucalyptus, and it says that it has about 86% germination. I like when companies do that, when they put the germination right there. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use one of these 5x5 containers. I'm going to spray the seeds around on the potting mix. And the potting mix that I am using has already been wet. Just making sure that it doesn't have big chunks here and there. And I am just trying to get the seeds to germinate. And I am trying to go for, I don't know, I will say 2 to 4 plants. But whatever I can get, even if I just get one plant, I'll be happy. If I can just get the plant big enough to take it outside, that will be a success for me. Make sure to label your plants, your containers. These are the seeds that come in this little bag. Hopefully you can see them there. So I am going to put about, I will say about 15 seeds there, because I don't know if they're going to germinate, honestly. Eucalyptus has been one of the hardest things for me to grow. Last year they did germinate, but they didn't really like being in here. I don't know if they needed more moisture. I'm not really sure what they wanted. They just kind of died. So we'll see how they do this year. Maybe this will be the year for eucalyptus for me. And I am going to be doing this, spraying the seeds here and there, making sure that they don't dry out. So this is one tray of seeds. I have potting mix here. I am not using seed starting mix. This is just regular potting mix. Choose whichever one choose whatever you like, something that is nice and fluffy, like I mentioned. I started with the medium semi-wet, not soaking wet, but at least manageable so that I am not breeding all of that as I move it around. I can just put these underneath my shelf. Some of these seeds need light to germinate. I am just going to leave them as it is. I'm not going to cover them with anything. However, I got these things last year from Bootstrap Farmer, and I didn't really use them that much. I'm actually going to get some shorty ones. This one is a little tall for my shells, but these are condensation domes, and honestly, I did not use them last year, and I still had success with most of my seeds. However, some of these seeds I have not dealt with before. I am going to give them the best chance possible. You don't have to buy one of these things. You can easily just get some plastic wrap to cover the containers to keep the condensation down. I like these things because they have the holes on the top. So again, I got these, they're very dusty. I got these last year and I never used them, but I'm going to try them. Maybe that's what my eucalyptus seeds needed to do better. They needed more humidity. So I am going to try those. I'm gonna let you know how they do. But basically, this is it, you guys. This is my first tray of flowers and other things that I am starting. I have at least a couple more videos of things that I am starting from seed. I'm just waiting for a couple of things in the mail. One of them is cornflowers, some that I saved, some that I bought, and the other one is lemongrass. And I think my coleus is definitely due for starting indoors. Can't wait to show you here in the next couple of weeks an update of how these guys are doing. Again, if you want to get the PDF form of my seeds, it's super simple. Go ahead and check the links below. Let's do this. Let's do this. This year, the garden is going to be amazing for both of us, for you and me. Our gardens are going to be amazing. Thank you for being here, you guys. Until the next time.